As I said, Christy with you through till 5 today. But I'm not alone. I am joined by two somewhat remarkable human beings. A lot of you will know Robbie Callister, of course, 5 times Parish Walk winner, and he has been doing plenty of things since, which we'll talk to him about shortly. But he is with one Jake Hodgson. Say hello, Jake.
Hello.
There he is. Jake is with us because if you listen to Women Today, we had a phone conversation with Jake last week while he was in the middle of doing something rather special. Jake, what were you doing?
I was walking around the coast of the Isle of Man, which is 100 miles.
Why?
Because I wanted to do a charity, mainly. Because I just don't like seeing little kids and teenagers in bed. Like, all I'm doing is walking. They're suffering a lot more. And plus I'm also doing it in memory of my granddad as well. Even though he didn't go to hospice, but he died of cancer.
And so so you mentioned the kids because you've chosen Rebecca House as the charity, haven't you? Mm-hmm. Which is, just a lovely thing to do. And we talked to you a little bit about this last week, but I suppose the thing is now, you have completed it. How did it go?
It was tough. It was, the first bit was alright. Fleshwick Bay was probably quite tough because it was really hilly. But I reckon the hardest bit was probably from Glenwillan campsite all the way round to Ramsey, because the beaches were just a bit annoying because you just come around a headland, there'll be another 10 miles of beaches, and the terrain was hard to walk on as well.
So you had planned to try and complete it in 3 days. How long did it actually take?
Well, it was just over 2.5 days, but yeah, technically 3 days.
And so you camped overnight, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you walked so that's roughly how long each day? How many miles each day did you do?
About 30.
Wow.
Maybe just over that, maybe.
Now, this is a big, big challenge. And, you are only 13. And so it's got to be a big thing for your body to take. Did you get any sort of injuries? Were you okay? Have you sort of recovered now?
My feet were a bit sore. I got a bit of a blister in between my toes. Wasn't very pleasant. My feet were aching, and I didn't get much injuries. The only thing I got was a tick in my foot. But
Ooh,
I would like to say a big thank you to David Doyle, which removed it for me.
Oh, what a legend. Now, Robbie Callister, you are no stranger to this because, of course, as we say, you've done the Parish Walk and won the Parish Walk 5 times. And just last year, I think you did a 100-mile walk in Cape Town, didn't you? So you know how difficult this is. Really big thing for Jake to achieve, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I've walked the coastal footpaths myself in the past. And it's obviously something that Jake wanted to go and do. He decided to set himself a bit of a challenge. And we thought when he first talked about it, maybe 5-6 days or something like that. But then next minute, Jake decided he wanted to do it in 3 days. And to do it in 3 days and achieve it in 3 days is a major accomplishment because the terrain is very, very difficult, especially the first day. Well, obviously, we started off here at 4 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
And it was wet.
4 o'clock in the morning, misty from obviously just outside Manx Radio here. And then we walked all the way through to Fleshwick Bay.
Yeah.
And down the south of the island, it's the scenery's stunning, but also it's tough to get over as well. There's a lot of hills down there. Mm-hmm. But we had a fantastic afternoon walking down there, didn't we? Yeah. The weather was beautiful and the views are great. Yeah. But it was a major challenge that he set himself, and he accomplished it. And to be honest, he probably finished it the fittest and the best of all the rest of them that were there. The older people were a bit tired. Yeah, he wasn't brilliant. And he says a bit of a blister, eh? You should see his dad's feet. His dad's feet are completely shredded, aren't they?
Yeah. He had to stop at Ramsey.
He had to stop at Ramsey, did he? Now you've got a long association with Jake's dad with regards to the Parish Walk, actually. Haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I've known Jake's mum and dad for a long time. We used to work together, and then also they were my backup in about the first 8 years I was walking the Parish Walk. So it's quite ironic that Jake was probably, because I've known him since obviously day one, and Lisa was out supporting us in 2006 when Jake was just a little lad sort of supporting us then. So he's obviously got the bug from walking in them days when he was a very little lad as well. But no, I've known them, they've been great to me to back me up and that. And obviously Lisa done a fantastic job in backing, getting all the camps ready for you and all that during the night. Yeah.
Dave and Finn.
Yeah.
And is that why you think, Jake, you decided that to raise money you wanted to do a walk? Because I know that you were in the Scouts, weren't you? Was there something to do with the Scouts that prompted you to do it, was it?
Yeah, because, I like going out for adventures, but when I was at Scouts at one point and we were talking about like all the different like walks around the Isle of Man, and I asked them because I didn't know what was the biggest one, so I asked them what was it, and they said the coastal footpath. So I thought it's the biggest walk, so I might just give it a go.
Good for you. What did your friends make of this? Because I would imagine most of your mates probably spend the time just playing Fortnite and things, don't they?
Yeah. Well, some thought I wouldn't do it. Some of them were quite impressed that I was doing it. They were happy, and then they were like saying, it's good that I'm doing it, because like some of them were being sarcastic, saying, oh, I couldn't even walk to the shop. It's good that you're walking 100 miles and all that. But yeah, some of them, yeah, have a bit of a go at me for not playing video games.
But I bet they're impressed with you now, aren't they? So how did you prepare?
I've done a few training. I've walked the Millennium Way 3 times so far. I've done it with Robbie and my dad last July, and I've done it 2 times in training. I've walked parts of the Radney Fallen just for training, and for keeping fit I've just been playing rugby, I've been going cycling and bits of jogging, and I've been going boxing as well.
And Robbie, what kind of advice did you give Jake for this? Because, I mean, obviously you've got so much history in this. What did you say to him to give him that?
Well, it was obviously we went out and we walked the terrain quite a bit, and obviously the main thing was just to show him what he's going to be going, what he's actually going to put himself through, and then it was just trying to keep him focused, and then obviously just making sure that he kept his food intake up and water intake as well, and just he had a good crew around him who kept a good eye on him out there, and he was pretty solid really. It wasn't, you know, he loses concentration sometimes during the day, don't you? Yeah. So, when he's not chewing grass or something like that, but then we get him refocused again, have a little bit of a break, get him refocused, and he's off again. Yeah. So there was very little we could sort of really tell him, because he was probably better than most of the other guys that were out there walking. He was astounding, really, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
And what sort of difference did it make to you, Jake, to have the likes of Robbie and your dad and the support network around you?
Well, I'm glad Robbie and Dave were with me, David Doyle, because of they kept saying like, keep drinking and keep eating even though you're not hungry, and it did help to keep my energy up.
That's good. And obviously it's nearly time for the Parish Walk again, isn't it, Robbie? What advice would you have for people sort of wanting to go ahead and do it? Because that is a huge challenge, isn't it?
It's a massive challenge, really, yeah. And it's just a phenomenal event. And the thing is, people are getting better and better every year. I think most people are learning a lot, listening to people. But the general thing is just obviously take it easy, don't go off too fast, too early. And obviously on hot days like this, keep covered up and drink plenty of fluids, and the thing is mainly eating, keeping yourself sort of like topped up with energy, because you get to a point where you think you're okay but you're not. Your energy levels are just running down, and people really need to force food into you. That's what we had to do with Jake at some point, you know, because we had a little bit of a spat, wasn't it, where he wanted something, we wanted to give him some food, and he didn't want to take it. So we made him take it in the end, because when you're walking yourself, you don't realise how much energy you are burning, you see. So it's mainly for people just to take it easy, make sure they drink water, and make sure they eat as well, and have good backup. You've got to have a good backup to keep you going around the Parish Walk also, yeah.
And you did have, obviously, these guys to chat to, Jake, but one of the things, obviously, with the Parish Walk is you quite often do it solo, don't you, by yourself out there. I'm interested to see now, of course, you can't have any music, can you? And I would have thought that having music would actually be really, really helpful. Did you have anything like that on your way around, Jake?
Well, I was thinking to have some music, but I wanted to, like, since I've got people with me, if I was doing it like solos, then I probably would put headphones in to keep me going, help me. But since I've got people with me, just socialise a bit. It'd be a bit unsociable.
Personally, I think it's better without the earphones, and I've never walked with them, and I think you just take more in. You really,
concentrate.
You listen to your body a bit more as well, instead of getting drifting off doing other stuff. I know people probably think it's good, but then I just think what happens when the batteries run out? You stop walking then straight away.
Good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. So you must have seen some, as Robbie was saying there, you take things in. You must have seen some interesting places. Did he see some places you'd never seen before?
Well, I've not really been around like Derby on them beaches there. Fleshwick Bay was stunning, because really high up scenery, and probably Peel Hill was the same. You could see the 2 sides of the island. You could see Snaefell, the whole Peel city. Sorry, I can't speak. The whole of Peel City and the car sound and everything, yeah. Nice view.
Absolutely beautiful thing to do, isn't it? And did you have to walk into the night in order to make it?
It got a bit, on the second day, it was like 10 o'clock at night when we got to the point of air. But it was a nice campsite. A fellow called Dave Parsons and my mum Lisa, they set up a cracking campsite for us. Nice fire, good tents, and put shoes around the fire, keep them, dry them up, keep them warm.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
But I was going to say, but he actually walked, on the first day it was 15 hours walking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was over 32 miles. No, 34 miles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Second day was another 15 hours walking, which is that was the longest day.
About 35 or something.
Yeah, and then obviously it was about 14 hours on the last day coming in here.
About 30 miles, about that.
Yeah. So he was pushing on, and it's the fatigue that you're going through. I know all the other guys that were stuck with him and all that, they really felt it. I think probably still resting, some of them now, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we did have a good group of us there, didn't we? Yeah. You'll have to mention the other people that were in it there that kept you going. Who else was with you?
We've got, obviously, you were there on the first day.
Yeah.
David Doyle, he done the whole lot. Danny Ward. My dad, Craig Hodgson. And Lee Notman, he had to drop out on the first day as well. He twisted his knee.
Oh no.
And on the last day we had Sonia Loosewaite and Anton Colleen. They helped me on the last bit from Clayhead on the bit, and Sarah Morgan Jones, she done the first day as well.
Fantastic. So a really good group of people around you, which is great to see. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll just have another song and then we'll have another quick chat about the fundraising and the money and everything as well. So we are joined by Jake Hodgson and Robbie Callister as well, who are talking about the 100-mile walk